Airbnb offers nearly 6 million places to stay in over 220 countries. Established in 2007, Airbnb has had over 1 billion guests. 1 billion! Originally named Airbed and Breakfast, the company changed its name in 2009 to what is now known as Airbnb, the world's largest accommodation sharing site. In 2019, Realtor.com ranked Scottsdale, Arizona, the #1 most profitable city for an Airbnb. So why are so many people interested in investing in Airbnbs, and what are the 8 things you must know about buying an Airbnb in the Phoenix metro area? Well, to help me answer these questions and break all of this down is none other than Airbnb ambassador, superhost, and mentor, John Hildebrand. John's an avid snowboarder, has an extensive background in photography, and is a short-term rental policy board member for both Scottsdale Short-Term Rental Alliance and Arizonans for Responsible Tourism. John owns a home in North Scottsdale with a casita that he personally Airbnbs. I'm Scott Graff, and this is Phoenix.
What's going on, Scott?
Oh man, John, I can't wait for today.
Dude, thank you so much for including me. I'm super excited to share today.
Well, I'm on my way.
All right, man. See you soon.
Let's do this.
How are you today, sir?
Good, how's it going,
Oh
John?
man, so good. So good.
Ready to do this?
Yeah, man. Thank you for including me.
Of
Super
course.
excited.
Of course.
Let's go. I'm ready.
All right, John, you ready to discuss the 8 things you must know about buying an Airbnb in the Phoenix metro area?
Yes, sir. Let's get into it. Got a bunch of helpful tips for everybody out there, so I'm excited to share.
All right, well, let's launch into it. So #1, location, location, location.
I mean, you said it. Location literally is everything, to be honest. And in Phoenix, Scottsdale area, there's so many amazing locations. I like finding locations that are around major golf events,
Okay.
the car show, a lot of shopping, spas, other great resorts. Like Arizona has all of them.
Oh yeah, plethora. There's no shortage of that. So it's not so much city specific as like more tourism destination specific, or
That's what I like, yes,
Okay.
because you can do research and you can find out that like how many tourists come into Phoenix and Scottsdale. It's insane. Like,
okay.
I feel like Scottsdale really promotes tourism, so
Yeah.
it's a very high tourism spot, and there's endless things to do for families, the bachelor parties, bachelorettes, the club life, the natural life. So having that many different options attracts so many visitors. So I think it's a very safe bet for a short-term rental investment. But there's a lot of things to consider. Scottsdale is #1, but the competition is very fierce. You have to go above and beyond. There's a lot of things that you have to have in order to get good rentals.
Yeah.
It's competitive. It's really competitive. But yeah, Scottsdale is probably #1 for sure.
That leads us into #2, build an experience.
Yeah, man, this one's awesome, and I'm always adjusting myself because there's more and more competition. More and more people are starting to travel using Airbnbs. So having a full-on experience, sometimes these are people's one-time trip. They're spending a ton of money, their family, and they want memories. So you got to really create an experience, a beautiful backyard with a pool, you know, some games inside the house. Can you set them up with ATV rides or horseback riding rides? You really want them to like submerge themselves into Arizona and feel that overall experience. So make your place feel great.
Yeah, so that differentiation, that's really what makes a property stand out right now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
All those little details will stand out.
Yeah, we talked about that before. And then one minor item that you shared with A recent client was, I see murals painted on the back walls with the hashtag and creating Instagrammable moments.
It's almost a must, right? But then if the way I look at it too, if every single rental is doing a mural, well, then you better find the next thing.
Yeah.
And right now there's not too many people doing it. So it makes you stand out. It's really cool. It brands the house. It's that Instagram moment, right?
Yeah.
But you always got to be thinking one step ahead. What's something that nobody else is doing right now that you could do that will get you that booking and those 5-star reviews? That's like the lifeline.
All right, John. Number 3, our hot market.
It's definitely a hot market, and Scott would be the expert when it comes to knowing the market as far as the real estate, when to buy, how to buy, what to look for. I'm more specialized in what to look for buying an investment for short-term rental. And man, this market has been so hot for a couple of years now, and it's still really hot. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you really want to buy a space that has a story. It's a great location, like we talked about, has a bunch of the amenities, you can design it really well, because you got to treat it like a business. This is a business. You really got to check all the boxes, definitely got to run all the numbers, make sure it makes sense, and treat it like a business. And in this hot market, you should be okay.
All right, John, number 4, probably the least sexy of all the items on this list, policies and regulations.
Yeah, it's definitely probably the least sexy, but it's probably one of the most important, right? Policy is something that you should pay attention to. I'm all for reasonable regulations. It only makes the industry that much better. And if you're treating this like a business, you go through all the right steps, you get education, maybe you hire me to help you through that process, or you hire somebody else. Having all those measures in place, understanding policy, where to buy that policy is okay, it's really, really important. So do the research, reach out to ambassadors or reach out to your local city. They're pretty good about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much the linchpin of what's going to make this experience a wonderful experience or one that's just not so fun at all.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, just do your research. I preach it all the time. You want to be a good neighbor. You want to be contributing back to the city. We hire all locals in the city. And I think that's the biggest message really to get across when it comes to that policy stuff. You just want to be a good business owner. Period.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so we are in one of your Airbnbs, one of the ones that you manage in North Scottsdale. This one's brand new to the market.
We're just about to launch. I call this house the Palm Zona because they got big palm trees everywhere, and we're in Arizona. So
that's right. You brand every home, every property.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Palm Zona.
Palm Zona.
All right. So just give us a little glimpse as to what this might look like. I mean, how big is it? How much does it cost to
Yeah,
Airbnb?
great question. So we're in the Palm Zona. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 3,000 square feet. Also has a detached casita, which is a huge sale. Amazing, amazing backyard with a huge swimming pool and then some games. It's just the pool table, has all the amenities, and like we talked about earlier, location is insane. This location is like,
can't beat it.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah, location. So we just launched on Airbnb a few days ago. You can go to our website and see the location, but this place probably should be 80%, 90% booked throughout the year.
And the fee varies throughout the year, right?
Yes, sir. Depending on the type of season, like right now we're in slow season, so roughly $350, $400 a night. Then once we start getting in the higher season, sleeps 8 to 10, so we can easily, $650 up to $1,200 a night.
Well, John, that brings us to number 5, Homeowners Association.
Definitely read the fine print. Make sure you understand what you are reading and what it says in the CC&Rs.
And CC&Rs, yeah. So if your intention is to acquire a property and short-term rent, specific to the CC&Rs, you're going to want to find out if there's restrictions on, how to use that property. And a lot of them have a 30-day minimum restriction, meaning that if you are to rent the property, you have to rent it for a minimum of 30 days, which obviously kind of throws a wrench into the whole Airbnb.
Yes, it does. So yeah, read the fine print. Make sure you talk to your real estate agent. They understand the CCNR is really great a lot of times, so just do your homework.
Yeah, do your due diligence and even call the homeowners association, read the CCNRs, talk to your agent, etc.
Yep.
Number 6, my favorite topic, your goals. When it comes to a real estate acquisition, people have different goals, and you see this with your clients. I mean, like the owner of this property, their intention is to have this strictly as an investment property that they turned over to you for a return. This is an investment property.
Yep.
A lot of folks will buy a property like this. It's a piece of real estate, and they'll turn it over to you, and then they'll want to use it for certain times during the year, or they'll have family that comes and uses it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And whenever you're acquiring a property, whether it's for your personal use or for long-term rental or short-term rental, you just need to understand what your goals are and then build that team around you, so you have a clear vision of where you're going.
Correct. And I always recommend, whenever you're about to buy real estate, especially when it comes to a short-term rental, don't get too emotional. Run the numbers. It's all about the numbers in the short-term rental space.
That's it.
That's where your goals can map out. Find out your bottom line to break even, find out a minimum range, and find your goals like, okay, can we get to this point? And then you're in a safe spot. You're buying it strictly on your goals.
You hungry?
Dude, come on, man. You asked me like 5 times. I'm starving. And we're going to my favorite burger spot. So yeah, count me in.
All right. Well, this is like our 5th take. If you get your lines right, let's do it. Number 7, single family home or condo. Basically, type of property.
Well, there's different levels of vacation rentals, right? I personally love investing in the single family homes. I think that the demand for single families is always going to be great. I like not having neighbors too close. So I'm all for the single family.
Now, are condos an absolute no-go?
No, I know a lot of people that do condos and do very, very well with condos.
Yeah.
It's just different niches. What fits you?
Now on Airbnb, you have the OMG homes. We talked about that in the car.
Yeah, man. I think Airbnb is doing a really good job of showing all the other experiences you can have. OMG being like literally like a weird dome in the middle of nowhere. I've seen people convert a houseboat that you can rent, like literally OMG stuff. You're like, what? And then beautiful designers, like you're being an architect, you can type in different architects and find a house and rent.
Frank Lloyd Wright, yeah, etc.
It's really, really cool, man.
Yeah.
It's endless.
Endless. Okay, number 8, financing and money. Financing and money. Airbnb, if the intention of an investor is to buy an investment property, it's the same procedure as buying a long-term rental. So it's an investment property, basically. So they need to be prepared with an adequate amount of funds for down payment and closing costs. So the financing is basically the same as if they were buying a long-term rental. But part 2 of the money is being fully prepared to really set it up like a business.
You really do have to run the numbers because you don't want to buy a house and then have to cheap it on the furniture and design. I see that happen over and over again. Design is just getting more and more important. So when you're buying a house, make sure, hey, okay, 20% down in general. And then, a budget could be anywhere from $13 to $22 a square foot for furnishing. Make sure you really do that because it's going to give you a lot more return on your investment.
Right, because you want to, just like any small business, you want to, your grand opening, if you will, you want to open those doors ready, right?
Like they say, first impressions are everything, so make sure your first impression comes out with a splash. You open the door and you got that wow 5-star factor right away. It's the hospitality business, right? So you always got to be ahead of the curve, and customer service is everything, but also quality is everything. It's only going to make you stand out.
Right. Well, there you have it. The 8 things you must know about investing in an Airbnb in the Phoenix metro area. So to recap, number 1 was location, location, location. Number 2 was build an experience. You really explained that. You really drove that point home. Number 3, we talked about our hot market, not so much our real estate market, but also the investing in Airbnb market. And we broke that down.
Number 4, we talked about policy and regulations, another very important step that gets overlooked. Then we talked about, on number 5, we talked about HOAs. what to
Yeah.
look for in CC&Rs.
Read the fine print.
Have a good guy in your team, get the fine print. And then your goals in the project. What's your goals on the investment? Make sure you run the numbers and make sure you're comfortable with those goals and try to beat them.
Right, right. And then we, number 7 was, do I invest in a single family home or a condo? Property type is definitely a consideration.
Yep.
And then we wrapped it up with the money, both the acquisition through financing, and then of course, you know, the money it takes to actually get from closing to opening the doors and being live on Airbnb and ready for business.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So there you have it.
So hopefully that was super helpful for all you guys. And thanks again, man. That was rad.
Well, it's been enjoyable. Yeah. Yeah. All right, number 6, my favorite topic, your goals. Your goals.
My personal and business goals, a little bit of both, I guess.
I'm not asking you what your goals are. I'm saying number 6.
I thought you were. Okay, start over.
Yeah,
Number
we don't have to
6.
start over. Yeah, number 6. You need to understand what your goals are because you know when it comes to you're funny.
Yeah, so my brother, he was amazing. He was probably one of the first cast members on the show. And then they, you know, wanted to tie it in more personal. Madison wanted to include me, help give me exposure. I was a photographer at the time, and I was shooting a lot of real estate anyways. So we started filming me shooting all his properties and like interacting as brothers. And oh man, it was hilarious. But it was like full on days. We would show up. It'd be like, okay, this angle. Now do this angle. Okay, now let's go to this house and let's do this. And we would shoot all day long. And then I would make like a 5-second clip of me in the show. I was like, okay, that was a lot of work.
Yeah.